What's good, everybody? It's Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the Circus Circus here at the north end of the Las Vegas Strip, and I'm heading in for their dinner buffet. Now, in this video, I'm gonna be giving you my honest thoughts on everything that I try, from plate number 1 all the way to dessert. I'm really excited to get in there. Let's go. All right, guys, so we just got seated here at the Circus Circus Buffet, and overall, it's actually not too bad. It's a little bit dated, but it's pretty clean and well lit. Not a bad space to eat in. Now, as of March 2022, the hours here at the Circus Circus Buffet are very limited. They've got dinner service on Fridays and Saturdays, and brunch service on Saturdays and Sundays. It's really not a lot. Now, brunch service runs from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., and dinner service runs from 4:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, brunch is looking to run you $25.99, and dinner is looking to run you $27.99. Now, with the current limited hours, I would recommend you call ahead just to make sure that they're open if you're planning on coming through. All right, and that's all the info. Let me give you a quick tour of the buffet. All right, guys, so let me show you the salad bar here, starting off with some soups. It goes into a bit of a salad bar. Got your salads here, all of your dressings. And then it goes right into the desserts. We got our brownies, your cheesecake, all of your pies, some tiramisu. A lot of pie here. You got your jello, more pie. You got your pudding here, some carrot cake up top, fruits, and your sugar-free options here. Carrot cake and some apple pie. Carrot cake and apple pie, right? And you got your dinner rolls here. And then if you flip right around, the beverage stations are right behind. So you're looking at your Pepsi products, your juices, your iced teas, you got your coffee here. Oh, I didn't actually notice there's a couple of teas here. So you got your whole tea station. You can kind of see that's how the buffet starts off right at the beginning. And if you kind of come around this section here, you go into the main line. Let me go and show you guys that. All right, starting off, we got some chicken parm and some sausage and peppers, pasta stations, spaghetti and meatballs, and your stuffed shells here. A bit of your baked white fish. And something that's looking like a seafood boil. They have it listed as mussels and clams. They have this listed as a shrimp scampi. You can kind of see all of their stations are labeled in this fashion. Yeah, you got your what looks like a seafood boil, but listed as mussels and clams. You have your shrimp scampi, looking a lot more like a shrimp Alfredo. You got fried shrimp and fish and chips. You got some vegetable lo mein here. It looks like what's going to be some pork buns under this. Let me give you guys a look. Yep, pork buns under that. That is hot. Some deep fried tacos and jalapenos, as well as some chimichangas. You got your seasoned beef here. I'm imagining these back here are your tortillas. Yep. Got your hard taco shells and your taco toppings over here. And then we got the Carvery, looking really good. How you doing, boss? Got some stuffing and all of your sauces here. Tartar sauce, looks like sour cream, and some cocktail sauce. All right, mashed potatoes and gravy. You got a beef stew and some rice pilaf, baked chicken and scalloped potatoes. Oh, au gratin potatoes. We got some corn on the cob here, as well as fried chicken. Looks like a jambalaya here. Some barbecue beans, some cornbread, Got a waffle iron here. Looks like they're making chicken and waffles over here. Some corn dogs, mac and cheese, and a vegetable medley. It's all looking pretty good. And then kind of tucked away in a corner over here, looks like if you want some assorted cereals, they got that, as well as some milk. And an ice cream machine kind of in the back there. So I believe that's the whole buffet, guys. Let me get back to my table so I can get some grub. Now, if you'd like to take an in-depth close-up look at all of the items here at the Circus Circus Buffet, I do have a video for that. I'm gonna link that right above. All right, let's go get this first plate. All right, guys, so I'm back with plate number 1, and for the first plate, I went straight to the Carvery. That roast beef and the ribs were looking really good off the line. On top of that, got a couple of sides here with these au gratin potatoes, as well as their stuffing, and honestly, I saw a corn dog there. I haven't actually had a corn dog in a long time, so I grabbed one of those too. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna try is this corn dog. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I've actually eaten a corn dog. So when I saw it on the line, I thought it'd be just kind of fun to try. A little ketchup, a little mustard. Batter's a little stale. Overall flavor is actually not bad. I can actually taste the corn in the batter. The hot dog tastes like a normal pork hot dog, but the texture of the corn dog leaves a lot to be desired. Now let's try some of their stuffing. Man, it looks like pretty good stuffing to me. You can see all the vegetables, you can see all the aromatics. Hopefully all the flavor comes through. Well, that stuffing's actually not bad. Decent amount of flavor, some amount of chew. You know, I thought this was gonna be mushy and a little soggy, but it's actually not that bad. Okay, next up, I'm gonna go in on this pork rib. The rib actually looks super meaty, although this particular rib does look a little dry. You could see that smoke ring, so you can tell they use the smoker. That's kind of cool. Let's see how it tastes. Yeah, that's not bad. Now, by the looks of it, I thought this was going to be a really dry bite, but it's actually relatively juicy and tender. The barbecue sauce on top of this rib is actually really good. Nice smoky flavor. Overall, this is a pretty decent pork rib. Okay, next up are these au gratin potatoes. I mean, they look cheesy, they look oily. It's gotta taste good, right? These are pretty mediocre. You don't actually taste too much potato, just a little bit of cheese. I wouldn't say it's bland, but it's flavorless. Is that weird? Okay, next up is the roast beef. Now, I'm really surprised. I thought this was gonna be dry, but look at how tenderly it cuts. Let's give it a taste. That's really good. Now, oftentimes when I try roast beef at Carveries and buffets, usually they're pretty dry, really flavorless. I'm so surprised with how tender and juicy and flavorful the roast beef here is at Circus Circus. The crust has a really nice amount of seasoning, nice crispy bark. I wasn't expecting much from the Carvery. I'm super surprised. This is really good. All right, that was a pretty good plate number 1. Let's go get plate number 2. Okay guys, and I am back with plate number 2, and plate number 2 I went a little more to the coast. I have some baked white fish, along with some fish and chips, a little bit of fried shrimp as well. I went and got a little bit of jambalaya as well as a beef stew, and a little bit of cornbread to round things out. All right, first off, I'm gonna try this baked white fish. It doesn't look super flaky when I cut it. Well, let's see how it tastes. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Now, originally I thought this was a big whitefish, but it's salmon. Flavor's pretty good, not overcooked. It's actually kind of juicy. And the sauce is actually quite nice. Really mild, really not bad. Now the baked fish was pretty good. Let's try the fried fish. Now when I first grab it, it's not super crispy. I'm not sure if that's just because it's been out under the heat lamps for so long. But let's just see how it tastes. You know, you gotta make sure you're dunking in that tartar sauce. And unfortunately, this isn't all that great. The breading is really doughy, and it looks like the fish has separated from the skin. Probably means the oil wasn't hot enough or they overcrowded it. So it's a little extra oily than I would like too. Fish is a little dried out. I think I'd stick with the baked fish here. Now how about these little fried shrimp? Kind of a popcorn fried shrimp today. Feels actually pretty good. Feels kind of crispy. See how it tastes. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Batter's nicely seasoned. I actually got some crunch. Not bad popcorn shrimp. All right, now to try this jambalaya. Now the color's not as red as I would like a jambalaya. Maybe it's not gonna be as spicy. But let's see how it tastes. Excuse me, Circus Circus. The jambalaya is actually not bad. Rice is actually relatively al dente. You actually get a lot of the pepper and you get a lot of spice. Could use a little more seafood in this, but overall, that's actually pretty good. Now I'm gonna take a quick bite of this cornbread. I'm not gonna lie, picking it up, it does feel a little stale. Let's see how it is. All the moisture just left my mouth. It's so dry. Definitely not my favorite cornbread. All right, lastly from this plate, I wanna try out this beef stew. Now, oftentimes when you come to a buffet, having food under a heat lamp is kind of not great, but a stew actually benefits from it as everything just becomes a little more tender. And let's just see how it does for this beef stew. It's pretty decent. As kind of expected, a lot of the flavors actually feel really developed, just because it's been under those heat lamps for so long perhaps. But the big chunks of tomato, the big chunks of onion in here, you actually taste it all. It's actually pretty good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. So far, the food actually really isn't all that bad. And I'm starting to fill up, guys, but plate number 3, it has to happen. Let's go. All right, guys, and we are back with plate number 3. Plate number 3 is a little more international. Now, I've got both a chimichanga as well as a deep fried taco. I also have some shrimp scampi and spaghetti and meatballs, a little Latin flair, a little bit of Italian food. This is looking pretty good. Now, the first thing I want to try is this deep fried taco. Now, I don't know if you guys have Jack in the Box where you're watching from, but they have deep fried tacos, and I actually used to love them as a kid. During my college days, 2 tacos for 99 cents was a godsend. So I actually have a real deep familiarity with those tacos. Let's see how the ones at the Circus Circus stack up. This is pretty good. Now, it is actually kind of heavy. It's really oily, much more oily than the ones I'm used to from Jack in the Box. The chicken filling is actually pretty flavorful, nice and tender. I can feel my heart clogging, but this is actually kind of tasty. Next up, let's try this chimichanga. Now, just picking it up, it actually feels relatively crispy. Still pretty hot. Let's see how it tastes. Now, unfortunately, this burrito is not living up to its deep fried taco cousin. The tortilla is really bland, and it's really doughy. And the filling inside, unfortunately, doesn't have a ton of flavor. I'd probably just stick to the deep fried tacos when it comes to taste. All right, next up, let's try this shrimp scampi. Now, there's nice big chunks of shrimp in here. You could see the bits of black pepper. Hopefully this is good. That's actually not bad. I don't know if I'd really call this a scampi sauce. It's much more of an Alfredo. But it's a pretty decent Alfredo. Now for a taste of every kid's favorite, spaghetti and meatballs. The meatballs actually look nice and juicy. Marinara sauce is nice and deep red. Hopefully this is good. It's just okay. The meatball itself is actually pretty juicy, but the flavor is a little lacking. The marinara sauce can definitely use a little bit of extra flavor. Maybe if they use a little extra tomato paste that really deepen that tomato flavor, but overall it's really not bad. All right, right, guys, I'm actually a little more stuffed than usual. It's time to activate that dessert stomach. All right, guys, and I am back with dessert. Got a couple of things to just keep things interesting, and I started off with a vanilla pudding, as well as a bit of cheesecake here and the tiramisu. First off, I'm gonna try going in on this pudding. Looks nice and creamy. Sprinkles, I'm sure, will add a little bit of sweetness. Let's see how it tastes. Kind of just tastes like packaged pudding. Nothing super special, but I'm definitely not gonna write home about that. All right, next up, let's try this cheesecake. Seems relatively soft. Hopefully it tastes good. Unfortunately, it tastes a bit like old store-bought cheesecake. The cheese is actually not all that smooth, it's a little chunky. But if you bought this from your local grocery store, you probably wouldn't be all that mad. Okay, and lastly, let's try the tiramisu. The cake looks airy, and it was super soft to cut into. Hopefully it tastes good. I think I can go out on a limb here and say a lot of the desserts may not be made in-house. You might be able to find these at your local grocers. All right, now that said, I actually like grocery store desserts, so this isn't all that bad for me. All right, guys, and that does it for me here at the Circus Circus Buffet. Now, overall, you hear a lot of bad stuff about this place, but honestly, I didn't have that bad of a time. Now, you're not gonna be getting any kind of super gourmet meals here, but the price kind of reflects that. I think they do have a lot of child-friendly options here with things like macaroni and cheese and spaghetti and a lot of Italian dishes. So maybe if that's what you're coming for, it's not a bad place for you. Now, if you enjoyed yourself, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and comment below. Are you going to be showing up to the Circus Circus Buffet? And if you're looking for more buffet tours and food reviews here in Las Vegas, please consider subscribing to the channel. We've got a lot more of those coming this year. Alrighty, and that does it for this video. Have a great day, and I hope you've enjoyed Vegas with me. Chin. Bye.